Hey guys, Tyler2K here. Today I'll take a look at Miary Zo and do a complete move list breakdown of the character. She was a new character who was released at the end of Season 2, and she'll be the final character for this season. She hails from Madagascar. From storyline, this is kind of her background. She has friends with a parent and a kid lemur. Looking at the name here, Vanilla and Cacao. I know she has like a chameleon, a bunch of kind of animal things, and that is because her kind of shtick is that she has some animal aspects. So she has like power of a lemur, but at the same time, she also is partially a reincarnate of the fighting god known as Ogre, so aka like a Toshin. So we found out that Toshins are all over the world. Actually did a kind of a crazy theory. I'll do a top right early this one for that, where you can see where I have theories of how she's going to relate into the future and what it could mean for like season 3, like the little there. But yeah, so she's a reincarnate, so she has a bunch of ogre attacks. Under heat mode, same thing. She gets charged up abilities as well as more charged up ogre style attacks, where you can see like this down to anytime she like throws a snake at you, that is her true ogre aspect coming through. But yeah, she's basically a kickboxer character. I can't remember the exact terminology of her move list, but like for instance, you get a lot of that kickbox influence, like a little down 4-1-4, entering into stance and things like that. High flying character, but more importantly, definitely designed to be fairly simple and straightforward to use. So it's a kind of two-sided sword, a double-sided coin there. Basically, she's easier to use, which also means it's easier to fight against her. So usually I have to go over like the move list quite a few times to get a good grasp of what's going on. But here, I think I have a pretty good idea of what is happening. So as talked about, because of her simplicity, unlike a character who enters into a stance, and sometimes they might be like +2, +4, +6, up to like +10, where as a defender, you have to kind of understand the situation and better understand what's going on before you can do like proper counterplay. With Miary Zo, it's actually the opposite. So every single time she enters into, like for instance, the bow stance. So she has 2 stances, technically 3, especially with heat mode, but she has 2 stances. But like for instance, the bow stance, kind of similar to like Safina, Scarecrow. Every time she enters into that stance, she's +6, so it's easier again to kind of predict what's going to happen. You don't really get surprised against her while fighting her, and at the same time, because she's simple, +6 all the time, it's easier for you to formulate a strategy to figure out what your opponent might do and how you can better prevent that. So yeah, definitely a simple character. Like the most advanced input she has is a simple QCF1, core circle forward 1, but that's it. It's like running 2, diagonal attacks. I'm like mashing a button, not quite as like crazy as like Katarina, but at the same time, the stances are simple, and also the button inputs themselves are simple. So she's a perfect character for newer or people who want to kind of get into the game. So I can't fault them for that. So if I was to give like, let's say, a 5-minute breakdown of the character, basically there's 2 things you have to know about, and those are specifically their stances. So the first stance is forward 3. This is Morengy Miroso. I think most people just call it Mir. So forward 3 is kind of similar to dynamic entry with Lars. Notice how she's crouching when she performs it. Similarly, from that crouching state, she can perform a high crushing like Mir 1 or a high crushing Mir 4 for like a hell sweep, so on and so forth. So she has pressure from the stance. The only thing that she's really missing from Mir stance is a power crush. Now, bow stance, which we enter by hitting 3+4 or by doing certain inputs, like for instance down forward 1-4 at +6, as talked about, does have a power crush. Which is, my apologies, all the way around. So Mir stance is forward 3-3, so that's her power crush. So if we think they're going to challenge us, we have that. But if we enter into bow stance, again, there's no power crush option here. So while we have a button similar to like Safina Scarecrow 4, which is bow 2, notice how there's no power crush on that. So anytime we enter into bow stance, we're essentially risking our life. If our opponent goes for something like simple like a heat burst, he's going to launch us. But at the same time, if we expect an option like heat burst, we can go for our fastest option out of bow stance, which is bow 1-4. Bow 1 by itself leads us back into stance. That is I-13. Also, we can cancel this. Typically, you want to cancel with 1-4, which is luckily completely safe on block. So actually, he's not blocking here. Okay, but yeah, completely safe on block. Otherwise, you can go for high flying stuff like bow 3, bow 2, so on and so forth. Now, for homing, we do have bow 3, which is our homing attack. Luckily, also out of bow stance, the bow 3 is completely safe on block. Also, as you might notice, it is a heat dash cancel launcher as well as a heat engager if our opponent gets hit by it, allowing us to go for a full combo. Final option that you really have to worry about out of Bao stance is Bao 4, which is effectively a Hell Sweep. Now, the interesting thing about Bao 4 is it also causes spin state, so if you hit the opponent mid-air during certain combos, you can still extend it with a Bao 4. Otherwise, very simple, like Bao 2 is going to be a go-to option. Also, the Bao 2 hits very far, so notice how we're kind of half screen, like range 2, range 2, 3-ish against our opponent. We're still able to link in a Bao 2 at the end of the combos. Now, with going back to the Miroso stance, or the Morengy Miroso, there's kind of two options you really have to look out for. So, similar to Dynamic Entry with Lars, we have Mirror 2, which is Instant Spin Launcher. Also, more importantly, completely safe on block. And then also, against an airborne opponent, causes a Steel Pedal effect. So it doesn't do that, sorry. It flips the opponent over. Apart from that, the one you have to look out for, really, is the Hell Sweeps. Mirror 4-3. Under the effects of Heat mode, the Mirror 4-3 becomes significantly scarier, where she can extend the combo with a Horns option. Only kind of issue with this, though, is by the wall, you're not going to get it full splat, so you kind of require a certain amount of distance to up. Other than that, as talked about, similar to like Lars, you're going to be looking for Miroso 1-2. Simply, it's a double high at the very end. Just duck the high, and then you're good to go. Apart from that, for punishment, she has a 10-frame 1-1-2, which is not just +2, but if you hold forward, enters into mirror. For 11 frames, she has 2-2, which does cause wall splat. For 12, typically you want to go for back 1-4, which is a very long range punisher for pretty good. Otherwise, if you want to enter the stance and force like stance pressure, you want to go for 4-4, which is +6, enter into Bao stance. For 13, you have down forward 1-4 into Bao, down forward 1-1, which can enter into mirror by holding forward. She also has more technical I-13s, but for this intents and purposes, for this like intro, we're going to skip those for now. Okay, well, let's not skip the other really important one. She has more than this. 3-2 is going to be your go-to also. So quite often times, you'll hit the opponent, put him into a crouch state where 3-2 is guaranteed as your heat engager. Completely NC option. Now, the tricky part, of course, is that 3-2 is not a launcher. So it puts them into a flop instead, where we can do like down 1+2 or an option like QCF1 to hit them afterward. For 14, she has forward 1+2, 1+2, 3+4, which also by the wall causes a wall splat. Notice how this is actually hit confirmable. So if you don't hit the opponent, if they block it, you can just let go of the option and then only be -13 on block. Not that bad. For 15, she has basically two really key options. So down forward 2, which unfortunately is a generic down forward 2. So it is safe on block. That's the good news. Doesn't launch crouchers. And then for 15, otherwise, you want to go for up forward 4-4, which is a hop kick instant spin. Technically, she also has 1+2 on 15, but we're not going to talk about that until we get to it later. Because again, for 15, if you don't know what to do and down forward 2 is safe, just go for down forward 2, guys. Don't worry about it. For 16, she actually has back 3-4, which is very, very far. And then I think she has 17. I can't remember off the top of my head. But for 18, she has forward 3+4, 2, which is a launcher. So for very big pushback options, like for instance, Jack back 1+2, you probably could launch them with this option. Please understand, though, that if you don't launch them, you are very dead. So just make sure that whatever you're punishing with is proper. For wall standing, on 11, she has wall stand 4. For 13, she has wall stand 1-4, which is a heat engager. For 15, she has wall stand 2. But if you're able to know how close the wall is, talking about 1+2, you have also wall stand 1+2, which also, oh, I thought it caused wall splat. I take it back. Never mind. Okay, yeah, wall stand 2 is going to be your go-to option. And then I think that is about it. She has some other kind of gimmicky punish options, but those are going to be your primary ones. Combo-wise is fairly straightforward. You're going to have one of two things. So either you do your initial launcher, whatever it may be, and either go for down forward 4, which puts them into flop state, or up 3, which also puts them into flop state and does identical damage. So the combo that they tell you to go for is basically up 3, back forward 3, 2, hold forward 2, and then from there you can do your combo ender of choice. Now, if you notice, back 4-3-2 does cause strong aerial tailspin state. And then also, she has 4-4-3, which also causes strong aerial tailspin state. As usual, you can only do 2 of these in the combo. By the 3rd hit, they are going to completely fall out of it. Now, for her heat options, now the nice thing with her heat is basically that you take the exact same moves, except for a few key ones, and then make those moves to the nth degree. So rather than just getting an advancing lemur tail under the effects of heat mode, we can hit 2. Whoopsies. And then also have a major wall splat built on top of it, and most importantly, completely safe on block. Up 3-2 is a brand new extension to a move like up 3, also giving a spin, also most importantly, also furthermore safe on block. Very, very good options. Basically, for the most part, it's the same attacks, they just become more damaging, better frame data on block and or hit, or more, just like I said, in damage in general. That's going to be the go-to. If you want to do more damage, the heat mode extensions are going to be before. Beyond that, I can't really think of what else I normally talk about. She does have a full crouch game, so she has full crouch down 4-4, which causes knockdown. She also has a mix-up to it with wall stand 3, which is very nasty, seeing as how wall stand 3 is not just plus frames, but also a counter launcher. I don't think there's anything immediately else I'm kind of missing. Like I talked about, she's very simple. Like your go-to plan, I mean, how many moves does she have? She probably has like, what, 70? Maybe? Yeah, you're looking at so these ones aren't generic. So you're looking at 80 if you disregard. Okay, well you can't discard those, but like these moves here. So for the most part, it's like with having 2 stances and having basically less than 100 buttons to hit, because I think all techniques count the heat at the very beginning too. Yeah, so skip those ones, skip the 6. So yeah, less than 100 moves with 2 stances, technically 3 stances, and a lot of the buttons you can hit are also stance cancel, stuff like that. So when you cut all that stuff out, yeah, the move list kind of gets down to about 80. So very, very straightforward. Oh yeah, one other final thing since I see it here. So unfortunately, you cannot cancel Bow with Heat Burst, but the Morengy Miroso you can cancel. So that's just one other thing of note. Similarly, she also can perform the Heat Smash out of stance, but she cannot Heat Smash out of the Balboa stats. So just keep that in mind as well. That might trip up some people for the first couple of days. Okay, like I said, I think that's about it on the 5-minute breakdown. I can't think of anything else immediately that's really noteworthy. So let's go ahead and jump into the major move list itself. So as usual, chip damage deals, under effects of heat, you get chip. You cannot KO with chip damage. That's something that surprisingly hasn't been added to the game yet for how aggressive it is. Yeah, there is no way to kill the opponent via chip. Heat dash cancel, hold forward, or tap the heat burst button, the 5. You can perform her heat smash, which we'll talk about in a little bit. She has enhanced heat options like up 3-2, which becomes a launcher. As talked about, up forward 3-1, which becomes a wall splat. And then her hell sweep beat, which becomes scary-er. But at the same time, not that much to worry about. Okay, now this is the spicy one. I didn't talk about her 3rd stance, but she has a stance called Tromba. So usually, if you're by a wall, you can tap the direction and back 3+4, or sorry, 3+4 plus the direction. Like for instance, if the wall's to our left, we can hit up 3+4 and do Tromba off the wall. Now, there's only one button off of Tromba, which is 4. But what they're saying here is under the effects of heat mode, you don't actually need a wall. So you can retreat onto the Baobab, or retreat this way, and then still perform our Tromba attack open field. So there's a little bit of spiciness to it, especially because the heat mode Tromba is basically a legend kick, which is a mid variation on it. Very, very good option nonetheless. But you can heat dash cancel it, it's just a safe attempt. Now, as talked about, the major difference here under her heat and what they're showing here is forward 2 becomes 5 more points of damage. Similarly, 4-4-2-2 also becomes 5 more points of damage. So that's not as sexy as our launching variations on it, but still not bad. Okay, like every other character, she can do heat burst via 2+3 or 5, and you can also cancel it. For heat engagers, I-13, 3-2, and we'll talk about all these later. Because usually what happens, I talk about them really early, and then I talk about them again. It's like, okay, not necessary. I-15, 1+2. Wall stand 1-4 with her wall stand I-13. For Morengy Miroso, she has DE or Mir 1-2. From Bao, she has the Bao 3, which is, again, we talked about the homing mid-cancel. Very, very good. Now, from her heat, she can perform forward 4-2. Keep in mind, without heat, she can still do this. It just does more damage and also has like major pushback. So if you notice the pushback there, if we do the same attack, okay, left, okay, left kind of far, but if we enhance it, yeah, look at that. We knock them like full screen away, like super good. Also, please note with this move, we'll talk about it later too, you can control the splat direction. So I believe, theory crafting here, that this is going to be the juice of Season 3. This is going to be a universal mechanic, able to control the wall, which is a video I never made, but it's interesting. Okay, and then finally with heat, she can perform the retreating into Tromba without a wall, again, shifting on the bow. Okay, up 3-2, as talked about, save on block. Oh yeah, well, let's talk about these, because actually they don't talk about these in the move list. So, yeah, up 3-2 becomes a launcher, which, as talked about, -9 with pushback. Now, what's interesting with up 3-2, we can actually do it again. And by do it again, we push the opponent away. Now, granted, we're +6 here, but still, like, it's interesting she can do a double loop. It kind of reminds me a lot of Elisa up 1. Just please note that, again, there's no extension unless you have the heat. So you do need the heat here to get the extension. Both scenarios, you still need it regardless. So, of course, keep that in mind. So it's probably not worth it to do a double rep unless you really just want to, like, taunt kill your opponent. Okay, as talked about, up 3-2 is just a supercharged version of up 4-3. Now, what's nice about up 4-3-2... Oops, not that button. Go and hit this. So kind of similar to Armor King down back to 1. It is a +4 plus frame option. Also by the wall, similarly, like down back to 1, will also cause a full launcher. Very good. What's even crazier about up 4-3-2 is that up 4-3 by itself is completely safe on block. And while you see it says high, unless you're ducking the entire time, this move actually completely jails such that you can't duck it. And by some miracle of a chance, you duck the second high, you know, you're evading the initial highs, you still get hit by the mid because you can't actually interrupt with a wall stand. You know, there's probably time to heat burst, rage art, stuff like that. But on block, yeah, this is completely jailing. Very good move. And we'll talk about up 4-3 in a little bit. And then finally, we get the charge version 4-2-2. Nothing else special about it, except for, same thing, a little bit more pushback, but just the damage. And then same thing, you get bonus hit here, very similar to like Harong option where he can hell sweep you and wall splat you. The difference though is, again, this move, the hell sweep variation that Miary Zo has is very lackluster. So because it's going to take me probably at least 3 attempts to get this, let me go ahead and churn on. That's talked about. So by the wall, no wall splat. A little bit further, same thing, no wall splat, right? So now if we go like maybe yay-ish. Okay, there we go. Now we get a full wall splat. But like I said, there's a substantial dead zone. Like even here, because it's advancing, it's just too close to land. So you need to be like range 3-5 from the wall. Like for instance, I don't think this is going to splat here either. Like here, this distance. Yeah, it's just too close. Like the dead zone on this move sucks. Also, what people have noticed, look at my rage or my heat bar when I do this. It basically costs you, I think, 9 seconds. So keep in mind when you perform your heat engager, right? Oh, sorry. When you get a heat engager, that's 15 seconds a meter. If you do a heat burst, you only get 10 seconds. So that means if you heat burst, you immediately have to go for this and then get it. Now, the good news is if the timer is about to expire, you can still do the final hit. So that's at least the good news. If you have just a sliver of meter and you enter into Morengy Miroso to perform the Mirror 4, you can still do the full string. So that's like the good news here. The bad news, though, in case it's not obvious. So first and foremost, and let's go ahead. First and foremost, the Mirror 4-3 is a little high. So you can just duck it. Let's say by some remote chance, though, your opponent doesn't duck the second hit and instead opts to block the third hit, right? Well, you're minus 17, so you're dead. So that's the really bad news. So not only does it cost you 9 seconds a meter, you don't get any safety from by going for the full route either. And again, like I talked about, the dead zone on this move is really, 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 really rough. So unless you have you're really completely locked in on the distance to the wall and you're able to control your opponent's spacing, yeah, you're not going to get a launcher off of it. So it's mostly just for psychological damage, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it just feels that way. Okay, her heat smash, not the best heat smash, unfortunately. So if you notice the yellow icon here, that means it's a ground break. So of course, being a heat smash, this is a strong ground break. So that means if the ground needs 2 hits to break the floor, and normally a throw or whatever takes only 1. By you popping meter, this will completely break the floor, giving you an option to kill. Now, unlike the other ground breakers, this one doesn't have a low crush component to it. Instead, she has a high crush. So when she performs her heat smash, similar to down 1+2, she takes a big duck forward first. Same thing with her heat smash. So she's ducking and then does it. Now, of course, the benefit here is if our opponent blocks the heat smash, kind of similar to other stances, well, we enter the bow, and just like the character in general, we're also +6 off a bow stance. So on block, we still get a mix-up. Granted, it's, not the best mix-up, because keep in mind, a lot of these heat smashes get supercharged. Like Lydia's is +10, like stuff like that. Like they get massively better frame data. For some reason, Miary Zo doesn't get hers. Now, I believe the damage is a little bit higher than average. No, 52, okay. Never mind. This is actually on target. So usually heat smashes do about 50. If you're lucky, they do a little bit more. But in this case, no. That's a clean 52 instead. But yeah, not the best one. The crush on it is definitely the best part about this heat smash. Actually, one final thing. Now the range on the heat smash is actually pretty good. So that's probably the real big benefit. So as talked about, like if you're very far away, you can do forward 3+4 2 on 18, or you can go for back 3-4. Same thing, very long range option, but again, 16, 18, which then leaves a perfect hole in her move list for a 17 frame potentially launcher on a floor break stage. So there actually is some idea in component like to have this type of punish. Like for instance, let's say you're playing against Paul and you can't really max punish Death Fist because it's -17, right? It's not -18. If you're on a breakable stage, pop your meter, bait out Death Fist, Demo Man, whatever, and launch punish him effectively. So a little bit rare nowadays. A lot of the -17s have become -16s over the years. But still, I mean, it's nice to have that. It's better than not having it. But yeah, it would be nice if it, I don't know, maybe a little bit faster. 17 feels a little slow for what it does, but I don't know. The situation for crushing is probably good. Okay, Rage Art, nothing to write home about. Your typical 55 damage by default, I-20, -18 on block. Now, what's interesting about her Rage Art, and let me show this, is that when she does the Rage Art, the range looks really good. And there it was really good. Now, the problem is, mid-combo, there's something wrong with the hitbox on this attack. So there, I should be hitting the opponent. So look at, I'm +24, but the attack's not linking, which is really interesting because this move here is basically effectively the same as Josie forward 3. So you would do forward 3 and then Rage Art would link in at the end of your combos. That doesn't really work that way with Miary Zo. One other final thing of note on the topic of strong aerial tailspin states, you cannot link in 3 into Rage Art. The attack looks like it has great range. It's just simply too far away. So keep in mind the 3 hit like SAT limitation, very much a thing for Miary Zo. So don't try to link in 3 sats, especially if you're doing back 3-4 2 combos with the strong aerial tailspin in it. You're gonna get yourself killed if you're not paying close enough attention with the combo structure. So just be very, very careful about that. Other than that, like I talked about, it's a generic Rage Art. You do more damage the less health you have. So, okay, it's a Rage Art. It could definitely be a lot better. Like if it hit lower to the ground like some other ones, would probably be pretty good. But other than that, not so much. Okay, 10 frame option as talked about. This is +2 on hit. And if you transition into Morengy Miroso, transitions into a +5. Now, remember how I said like Baobab stance? you're +6 in how you don't have to worry about frame data with her. This is the one exception. So oftentimes she's going to be +5 into Morengy Miroso stance, into Mir. There is one other exception, I can't think it off the top of my head, where she actually is +8. But for the most part, yeah, you're going to be looking at +5. So at +5, you can go for, again, Mir 4, which high crushes, Mir 1, which high crushes. Obviously, if they try disrespecting your -5, the, what do you call it? The Mir 1 is going to go under anything they go for. Power Crush will still win, but of course, if you go for Mir 4-3, you're going to, of course, beat them with the low option. And then finally, yeah, you always have Mir 3 to also kind of challenge out too. So, not a bad one. Now, the nice thing I should mention about 112, you can actually confirm it. So the window is actually pretty generous. So even on like random guard, we're going to be able to hit them. I always wondered, am I hitting it too fast? No, I'm not. Okay. So yeah, it's very much hit confirmable. This is your standard Mishima style 112. Now, the catch here that you have to look out for, as probably expected, non-jailing, just duck the final hit and launch Punisher. Now, it's important to understand that 112 and 122 are different attacks. So you are going to duck the third hit, but the timing and the risk versus reward is very different for Miary Zo. So we'll talk about kind of like possible meta play, but keep in mind that those are very, very different attacks. You're going to have to be cognizant of what arm she's using to apply pressure and then punish her accordingly. The timing's also different. Notice it's 1-1 versus 1-2. So you can subconsciously definitely pick up on that. Now, 1-2. Oh, so first of all, 1-1 by itself, unlike a character like Victor, who she clearly has some influence by. So Victor 1-1 is +8. Unfortunately, Miary Zo is 1-1 is only +3. So in order to get frame data out of 1-1-2, which again, +2, you have to transition into the Mirai stance or the Mir stance to get get stuff going, right? So that's a big thing. So 1-1 +3. Now, if you go for 1-2, I mean, you're at least +8, although same thing, you're 10 damage, 11 damage, right? You're just getting frame data out of it. So 1-2 is just going to be like your panic jab. Okay, I can forward buffer this. Range, evidently, it's not that super good. But yeah, she's also a smaller female character. I mean, look at how small she is relative to Jin. But the flip side of this is she has 1-2-2. Now, 1-2-2 is not NC. It does deal chip damage on block. Now, the good news, this is actually NCC. So if you're by a wall, yeah, you can do the 1-2-2 and kind of let it rock. Now, here's the first major thing of note with Miary Zo. We talked about how down forward 1-4, always +6. Now, anytime she shows the snake, these are all counter launchers, every single one of them. So if our opponent gets hit by the final hit, we get an instant spin launcher instead. So let's say our opponent ducks, and notice how the high is coming out on 28. If they duck and then stand up into the 2 and hit a button and they don't high crush, they're going to get counter launched. So that's the kind of good news here. So not only do you have the NCC wall splat, you also have the possibility of just fucking killing them with the 1-2-2 by itself being a launcher. And like I talked about, every single snake attack of hers, all the ogre attacks are all all counter hit launchers, which is kind of interesting. 1-3, I wish I could tell you what 1-3 is about. Now, the damage on 1-3 is better than average for her. 15. It's unfortunately +0. Now, the good news on block, completely safe. It's -6, so your turn's up, unfortunately. But that's it. It's just for safety. Like, oh, I kind of want to do a quick poke. But also being NC and, like, at least when, like, Asuka does her 1-3, she does a low. Here, it's just like, okay, I guess I'll do something safe. Okay. Yeah, don't even think about 1-3. Again, like I said, you can hit confirm 1-2-2. So why would you ever settle for 1-3? One other thing of note, now that I come to think of it. Now, the nice thing with, like I was talking about, 1-1 +3. On block, it's only -4. Oh, I thought it was going to be -5. My bad. It's only -4. So it's actually not even that bad frame data. And again, at -4, you can still churn steel with like down back 3, duck jab, Power Crush is a little bit scarier, but at the same time, I don't think most people are going to challenge 1-1 with the jab. But yeah, you could like turn steel with Power Crush and shit like that as well. So there is some like mental frame advantage by having an option like 1-1 and 1-2-2, right? Your opponent's naturally going to close up against it, especially 1-2-2 with the counter launcher on it. So it gives your opponent something to think about. Don't even think about 1-1-3. Just forget that move exists. Okay, as talked about, this 2-2 is her 11 frame Punisher. Now, you don't really get a good feel for it because here, what the 2-2 is hitting, but if I take a small step back, the 2-2 will completely miss. So as we just talked about, it's a snake attack, so it's a counter launcher. So at least it has that going for it. But range-wise, the 2-2 is very, very poor. So for that reason alone, as talked about, you have long-range ass back 1-4 on 12, decent range 4-4 on 12. So unless you know something is like you are going to get the wall splat, I would say stay away from 2-2. Stay away from this Lucky Chloe ass 2-2. Now the good news is, unlike Lucky Chloe, there is no like lucky component. You just mash out the 2-2 and it's always going to give you the wall splat. So that's the good news. But other than that, yeah, be careful with the range, especially because unlike an option like 1-2-2 and 1-3, I mean, stuff like that, right? We can forward buffer these by holding forward. You cannot forward buffer 2-2. So 2-2 is just a 11 frame Punisher. That is it. And of course, it's a non-jailing high, so they can duck and launch if they block it. Okay, 3-1-2. Let's talk about 3-1 first. So first of all, 3 has absurd range. So this is basically a Bruce style stand 3. Now the difference with Miary is that this is this almost same identical animation like forward 3-1 for Bruce, for people who used to play Bruce. But the range on this is really, really good. So first and foremost, as talked about, let's say you want, for some reason, like standing frame data or mirror frame data. Well, 3-1 punishes can transition into mirror by holding forward and at +4. So, talk about that frame data not being equal for mirror stance. Okay, so we have the super long range I-13. Now, the issue with the 3-1-2, which is very similar to like Armor King forward 3-2-1, unfortunately, the final hit is just a knockdown. There is no counter hit here. There's no launcher. Also, the range on the final hit is actually kind of dog shit. But there's no special counter hit thing. Also, on block, keep in mind, this is not NC. Even NCC, it's not. So it's just kind of a fake mix-up, the mix-up into the mirror stance transition. Now, on block, -7 into crouching. Again, we're committing crouch, but at the same time, if your opponent knows that, they can just check you with like a down forward 1 or something like that. Because I think the mirror 3s is a typical 7-framer. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure it's a 7-frame data, which leaves a 13-frame gap at -7, just a heads up. But yeah, the punish on 3-1 is really good, the range. Again, though, back 1-4 is better. 4-4 is still kind of better. So probably fade away from that alone. Now, the real reason for 3-1 and 3-1-2 is, as talked about, she has her 13-frame Punisher, right? Leading to Heat Engager. Now, of course, this is a high. So you could just duck the high to punish it, but so that's where the mix-up comes in. Now, on block, the 3-1 is only -10, so it's not horrible. And then as shown, the final hit is -14 as well. But again, unlike Armor King, who's, I think, -13 or 14. I think it's only 13. Like, no counter hit for her. So it's like, okay, Armor King might have been designed way before she got designed. And they're like, ah, shit. Okay, well, too late now. Oh, yeah, well, again, though, 3-2, I-13. This is quite a few things for Miary. Lead to +13, down 1+2, up 1+2. Oh, okay, that's a little bit different. But again, hit confirm, option, and then lead to Heat Engager. Of course, by the wall, this would lead to a full wall splat launcher as well. So there is some juice there to talk about as well. So as we mentioned earlier, 3-2 can be heat dash canceled. Unfortunately, it puts into a flop state. So you want to do, again, QCF1 or horns option for steel pedal sort of thing, although that just pushed the shit out of them. But yeah, QCF1. The nice thing is you don't even have to time the QCF1. Yeah, just mash that shit. No timing necessary because, again, she doesn't have a crouch dash. So there's no like special QCF input for her sort of thing. Okay, 4-4. This is a bow transition into +6. Now, what's kind of spicy about the 4-4? So first of all, it's 12 plus 6, 32 damage, not bad. Again, good range on the 4-4. It does start with a high, and similar to back one, which is also high. Now, I'm not going to show it off here, but 4-4 doesn't jail. So there is time for your opponent to actually duck the incoming attack and still get clipped by it. Now, the good news is the final hit on counter hit, there's no counter hit. It's just a normal bonus damage for plus 6. But your opponent, there is time for your opponent to hang themselves with it. Now, you don't have to shift to Mirai by doing 4-4. You can always do 4-4 into back. And then here we're left at +0. So if you don't want to force a stance mix up, like for instance, you're really afraid of Rage Art and you don't want to commit to an option like, let's say, like Bow 1-4 to beat a Rage Art, you could just chicken out and cancel the stance. Now, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I don't want to spoil it because it's going to be a reveal. But yeah, that's an option that you can go for. You can chicken out and do it. Now, what's important to note with all these kind of Bow transitions, on counter hit, or sorry, on block, these are all -13, and also furthermore, she does not transition into stance. So it's going to be -13 in standing, not -13 in bow stance, in which case, as talked about, there's no power crush. You're going to instantly die, right? Kind of similar to like, well, it's not quite analogous with Safina, because again, she can cancel it and her frame data is different. But yeah, you're not going to enter into bow. You're just going to be -13 cleanly off of every single bow transition. So again, same thing we were talking about earlier. Very simple to learn how to fight against because all the frame data, for the most part, is going to be identical with her. Okay, 1+2. This is a heat engager. I-15. Now, the second hit is a high, but it's also fast enough such that you cannot duck it. Now, the good news with the 1+2, though, is this is a launching heat engage or heat dash cancel option. So even though by the wall we don't get the wall splat, in an open field situation we still get it. So the nice thing is even though down forward 2 with Miary is safe, you could always sidestep and then meter pop it and then keep pressure going. If your opponent flinches or commits, you're going to get a launcher even against a ducking opponent again, right? Down forward 2 is not going to launch a croucher. Yeah, not gonna launch a croucher, but if he ducks, well, the 1+2 will still full launch him. So we at least have that going for us. Nice thing, furthermore, is on block. I think it's like -8, -9. So -9. So it's actually pretty safe, all things considered. So if you don't absolutely know what to do, and you're like really bleeding out, but you have some recoverable gauge, yeah, it's not bad just to let the 1+2 rock. There's no risk. Okay, let's talk about some general risk things first. For the most part, Miary Zo is very weak to sidestep left. If you don't know what to do against Miary, the thing you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to sidestep to left. And notice how I'm not saying sidewalk. Yeah, it's just even a small step is going to completely trounce her strong tracking. So her only strong tracking is to her left, your opponent's right. But if they sidestep the other way, she has no real great tool to kind of answer it. So yeah, you're going to evade like any sort of pressure by a simple sidestep. So even out of stance, you're going to evade this pressure option as well. So that's where the speed of the bow options, and again, the safety of like bow 3, for instance, really comes to play. But yeah, if you're playing against her, simple sidestep right, you're going to beat like 90% of her move kit, regardless of the situation. So that's always going to be an issue. So with her, you're going to be looking for like a lot of counter stepping, meter popping to call them out. That's going to be your go-to. Now, that, of course, is a little bit more of an advanced technique. That's like more like intermediate level kind of play. But at the same time, it's not impossible for a beginner to learn. But yeah, the good news is like a lot of our things are so safe in general that it's not that big a deal. But it's just something of note. Major tracking problem. So having the safety to help kind of cover the delinquencies or deficiencies in your game plan helps out like dramatically. Okay, 3+4 is just a simple transition to bow. She does low crush during it, although there is no special like anti-animation. Important to note that when you transition into stances in this game, you can effectively buffer the input immediately. So even I do 3+4, and now I hit like bow 2, I could always do 3+4 2, and immediately on the first frame have the incoming attack. So again, we're not going into stance and then waiting to see what our opponent does, right? Because we don't have a power crush, and like for instance, with 3. Here we can just input an attack. Like look at the range on fucking bow 2, first of all. Okay, here we go. Okay, forward 2. Not the most, like, flashy attack. Instead, as the game kind of suggests, the forward 2 has the benefit of having a punch parry built into it. Also by the wall, this does cause a wall splat. Oh, never mind. My bad. So if we put on attacking, and we'll have like a simple jab string. Yeah, we're going to Sabaki the attack. Oh, there you see. You see the problem, though. The window is actually pretty small. Yeah, there you go. Full wall splat launcher. But yeah, the window is actually kind of small. So I don't know if it's like a 5-frame window that is like, let's say, maybe 3 to 8. But it definitely feels smaller than other characters who feel a little bit easier for them to get in that option. So on successful Sabaki, as you notice, we put him in the steel pedal, similar thing. Either down +2 or end with a QCF1 if you want to push them away. The punch parry is nice, but also, as you probably had noticed, on block, yeah, unfortunately, it is not safe on block. So the nice thing is it looks very similar to the 442, which is safe, but at the same time, you're looking for the Sabaki. Notice how it's punch parry specifically only. So forward 3 is how we transition into Morengy Miroso. Similar to Lars, presumably, because I haven't tested it. She is crushing during, I think, frame, like, probably either frame 6 or frame 7 until likely frame, like, 18. And then furthermore, as we had talked about, the fact you can transition from Morengy Miroso by itself to, like, Mirror 1 to continue the attack means that we're further high crushing during the entire animation. Now, you can cancel. Did they talk about that? No, well, maybe they do talk about it later. So you can cancel into FC by doing forward 3 into down back. So same thing, you're crushing. We stay in FC, so we're still crushing. And then from here, we can commit to something like full crouch down 4-4 to knock them down to the floor, for instance. But I think most of the time with Mir, people are going to be going for the 50-50 with house sweep strength in general. So I think that's going to be the go-to option sort of thing. But I think they talk about Mir later. Okay, however you say this attack, this move is what we were talking about earlier. So notice how it does 32 damage, and then under the effects of heat mode, it not only hits the shit out of the opponent even further, but it deals another bonus 5 damage option. Now, as you can see here on the screen, we can actually control the direction. So here I'm going to do forward, forward, down 2. Oh, that was weird. Okay, it's still going to splat there because the wall's so close, I guess. So here I'll do forward, forward, down 2, and notice I push him that away. Let me get him off the wall a little bit. And now I'll do forward, forward, up 2, and splat him into the wall that direction. So depending on the distance to the wall, and direction rather, yeah, you can just kick the shit out of them, splat them, get a full launcher, and then, do whatever you want from that sort of position. Now, beyond the fact that she has a heat mode variation that does a million more pushback and a million more damage. Well, 5 more damage, so what, 20 points more, 20% more, which is significant. The nice thing with 442, it's completely safe on block. Now, if you notice, the attack comes out kind of slower, which means that your opponent can actually power crush in between the strings. So there is some counterplay. Now, the nice thing is you can just do forward, forward by itself, and as you see there, completely safe on block. So if you think their opponent is going to get too predictive with their power crush anti-usage, like their, what do they call it, active defense, I think that was the term from back in the day. Yeah, you can just do solo forward, forward, bait out the incoming power crush, and then punish them accordingly depending on like wall distance. Like for instance, if Jin goes for like down 2 here, again, 2-2 wall splat sort of thing, and then go from there. So yeah, we do have some good options. But yeah, there is counterplay because the second hit comes out slower, on 31. She has actually a few of those like 31 frame data points, and I'll try my best to remember them when we get to them. Okay, forward 4, forward 3 is a double, basically mid into a double high ender. You can duck it. Now the nice thing with forward 4 is actually the range. So not only is it you have the range. So first of all, if you like, okay, let's back up. So as talked about, forward 3 plus 4 is your like preferred minus 18. But like look at the range on forward 3 plus 4. it's a little bit lacking. Now, under certain scenarios, you probably will consistently be able to launch. But you also have forward 4, which actually has a little bit more range than forward 3+4. And here I'm proving myself wrong. But yeah, it's like, okay, if you want the safety, forward 4-4 is not that bad. Now, of course, the bad news there, of course, just duck the high. You do have the mix-up with forward 4-2. But yeah, that's something of note. Now, it's not fully NCC. But from the second hit, it probably is. Oh, it's not. Okay, interesting. So it's not even a proper mix-up with 4-4-2 either. It's just an interruption option. You can duck it. Now, the real purpose of this attack, though, is just like to be used during a combo. So similar to Asusena, like for instance. Similar to Asusena 4-2-1-4. This is the exact same move, but instead of 4-2-1-4, we're doing forward 4-4-4 kind of thing, right? We're just mashing the forward 4 input. But it's a similar option here. The only difference, though, is I think Asusena 4-2-1-4, the final hit is a mid. This one is, of course, being a high. So there's a little bit less application to be used here. But still, as an ender, you'll notice like quite a few of the combos want you like forward 4, forward 4. A lot of them end with that forward 4-4 because it's so easy. You know, again, a beginner is going to be able to do it constantly. Okay, and then also like Legend Kick, I guess. The final hit does deal chip damage on block. So, okay, better than nothing, but -9. Who cares? But yeah, of course, duck it and launch it accordingly. Okay, forward 1+2, 1+2, 3+4. Again, is her 14-frame Punisher. The range is actually not that bad. Like, look at, we're hitting him from at least like 1.5. As talked about by the wall, this does lead to a wall splat. Now, there's a couple of catches here. The first hit is -10. The second hit is -13. And then finally, the third hit is -22. So, notice how she does like a major kick up in the air. Well, unfortunately, there is no launcher component and no airborne component, so you can actually hit the opponent midair still. And yeah, you don't get any cool thing like Kunimitsu set 4, for instance, top right corner for Kuni moveless breakdown for members, sort of thing. So the nice thing though, you can confirm this, like very easy to confirm, even easier than like a Ganryu down forward 1+2. And same thing, leads to the wall. And unlike a character like, you know, what's he called? Heihachi's, who has a similar attack, which is launch punish on the second hit. Again, only -13 worst case scenario. Now, the really cool component about this, which is like kind of brand new to her, is unlike those other attacks where you kind of have to mash the input or you double tap the input and there's like either you hit like a 2 at the end instead of a 1+2. This is a 3+4. So there's no way to fuck up the confirm by mashing forward 1+2. So in order to actually confirm it, we have to slide our fingers down a row to the 3+4 button and then hit 3+4. So I liked how they did that. So not only do you get like the high flying flashiness of like the little wheel kick, but the fact that like as a beginner you can't fuck up this input, right? You can't fuck up this hit confirm. Like that's awesome. Like that's really cool game design, which unfortunately Namco has kind of forgotten about in quite a few things. So it's cool to see that she has that at least. So that's nice. Again, this is a very good I-14 Punisher to confirm. Fishing for wall splat, and again, only -13 worst case scenario. Of course, unless you fuck up. But still. Okay, forward 3, 1+2, or forward 3+4, 2, my apologies, is the same thing as Kunimitsu CD2. This looks very similar to like Lucky Chloe 4 forward, 3+4, off of her stance. I can't remember the name of it immediately. But still. Now, against an airborne opponent, you can use it like Lucky Chloe to lead to a spin option, although there's probably better things to go for, but you do also have that as well against an airborne opponent. But again, this is going to be your I-18 with pushback launcher to punish them if you don't have meter or whatnot to go for like heat smash on 17, as we talked about earlier. So, yeah, I don't think there's time to confirm it. Yeah, there's no time to confirm it. This is just going to be a block punish. Chip damage on block is kind of insulting. Here, I'm dealing chip damage. Remember, chip is non-lethal. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, you get to recover all that health back because now you get to launch punish me instead. So that's kind of like, I don't know about that. Okay, down forward 1-1-2. we should talk about first things first. So down forward 1, you know, I-13, -2 on block, as we've seen, +5 on hit. Now we can go for down forward 1-1, which is NC, +5. And oh, here it is. So if we shift to Morengy Miroso, this is now our +8. So this is going to be our biggest amount of frame data. And then furthermore, from down forward 1-1, Mir 2, as talked about, right, is I-15 counter launcher. So unless they go for a power crush, you're not going to be able to beat this, and then Mir 2 will be a counter launcher. Also, I didn't mention it. Oh, I guess we haven't got to it yet. Mir 2 is also an elbow. So there's no punch sabaki here or reversal. It's effectively a free attempt at +8. Now, you do lose again to power crush, but Rage Art does not beat it. At the same time, you don't counter hit a Rage Art, which is just a mechanic of Tekken for a long, long time here. So first and foremost, again, transition off of down forward 1-1. It will be one of your 13s. Again, 3-2 for the wall is great, but if you're open field, you don't want meter, and you want +8 Morengy Miroso pressure, down forward 1-1. Otherwise, again, down forward 1-4 for bow pressure. Okay, so now that we talked about that, the mix-up to it is to go for the overhead dunk. And as you notice there, but first and foremost, this is not NCC. So our opponent can block it. We're -12. But it is a snake attack, which means it is a counter launcher. So if our opponent guesses incorrectly and punishes late, or maybe they see us flailing at 2 and they want to challenge us, well, hopefully you're sidestepping before you challenge, because otherwise you can get counter launched. So to mix up, as talked about, the down forward 1-1, the next move on the list. Oh, sorry. So first things first, down forward 1-1, 1+2, is the horns. Like horns, though, it is also going to be -17. Now, the difference here, though, is with down forward 1-1-2 hits on 30, the horns hits on 27. So there is less time for you to fuzzy it. And then furthermore, similar to the counter hit component, the horns by itself is just going to be a natural launcher instead. So there is some benefit, but unfortunately you're going all in with the horns versus, again, the dunk, you're only -12, worst case scenario. But risk versus reward, right? The dunk requires counter hit. Horns does not require counter hit, just requires them to mash or duck into it. So the actual mix-up here, because again, this is a high, right? Non-jailing high, is for us to go for a down forward 1-4, which leads to bow stance, as talked about, +6. And then if we hold back, we are -6 there as well. And then furthermore, again, down forward 1-4 on block, like any other bow transition, is -13 on block. Now, similar to the other bow transitions, the down forward 1-4 does not jail, which makes life very tricky for our opponent. So let's have him duck, and then he'll also get counter hit. Oh, wait, what? Oh, shit. Sorry. He can't guard under key charge state. So let me turn this on counter hit. There you go. Now, down forward 1-4 is also a counter launcher. So if our opponent tries mashing in between the string, we do have access to bow option, where bow 2 leads to your spin, so on and so forth, right? So yeah, all the counter hit, like non-jailing bow transitions, all have this benefit, which makes life really actually pretty good for, Miary Zo. So even though she's -13 on block, if our opponent doesn't want to respect anything, yeah, they're going to die by challenging options like down forward 1-4. So that is pretty nasty. I feel like a lot of people are probably going to get caught by it that week 1. Probably start respecting it afterwards, which means naturally down forward 1. In general, even though it's only -2, right? It's already a really good down forward 1. Will become even stronger and more meta play in general. Okay, down forward 2. I-15 launcher, as talked about. This does not launch crouchers. This is a generic down forward 2. So we're at +4. But at the same time, as you see there, the benefit of down forward 2 and generic down forward 2s is that it's completely safe on block. Now, looks like it probably crushes. I haven't tested it, but I imagine this is the old school down forward 2, so there is some crush frames on it. Typically, +2 to -5, I think, is the generic down forward 2 frame data. So my guess is probably somewhere in that ballpark, because when she does this, she does take a little duck forward before hitting the attack. So there's a pretty good chance it will also hard crush. Okay, down forward 3-3 is basically Roger Jr.'s homing attack. The difference here, though, Down 4-3-3 is a double mid, also like Roger Jr., leads to a full wall splat. The top right corner, in case I haven't talked about Roger Jr., another breakdown also. Yeah. Now, the good news, as you probably can tell, the range on this move is fucking absurd. Best of all, on block, it's only minus 13, so it's not even that bad to have to deal with incoming or the forced down 4-3-3. So when you mix up the range and then also the double mid homing, and then I guess it's a tail attack, so it's probably a weapon, so you probably can't even reverse this. I mean, what's to not like about it? Now, against Jin, there's probably time for him to parry. Maybe not. He might be able to parry in between a bit, but other characters other than Jin will not be able to, so it's a moot point for the rest of the 39 part of the cast. But yeah, this is still really, really good. I mean, to have this long-range wall splat that's only minus 13, again, who cares? Minus 13, who gives a shit whatsoever? Now, I don't think there's any counter hit here, right? Yeah, you're just going to get that knockdown regardless. That's about it. But yeah, the range is great. The safety, all things considered, is great. The fact it's NC is great. I mean, what's to not like about this move? Super, super good. It's like literally a better version of Roger Jr.'s down 4-3. Okay, down 4-4. We talked about this in the initial reaction video to Miary. I was like, okay, down 4-3, this animation is basically similar to Josie forward 3, which is a counter launcher. Very similar to Bruce back forward 4, which is a natural launcher, and or semi-close to Katarina down 4-4. And I'm like, if this is a counter hit tool, counter launcher, we're all fucked. Well, yeah, it's definitely a counter launcher. So no surprise there. This move is not, look at that, -4. It's even better than safe. Like -4 is such good frame data. Again, the turn steal immediately after. So for context, whenever things aren't like a really quick high crushing, like for instance, a duck jab is a CS4 or crouch state 4. Usually if things duck in a high evade, it's what's called like a CS6 or crouch state on the 6th frame. So for instance, down 4-4 on block can be then followed up with down back 3, which will then crush on 6. So if they go for a 10, we go right under him. Now granted, we don't counter hit him, but we will beat in that position. Actually, Hawk is cheap. Let me go ahead and just show you. So I'll have him block the incoming, and then I'll have him try to punish with something simple like 2-1. Like for instance, a quote-unquote, like, you know, safe jab pressure, right? And I think I might have this one loaded up already. Whatever, I'm just gonna load it in case. Okay. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, safe, you know, safe quote-unquote option, right? Oh, okay, so thank God. Down back 3 does not high crush on frame 6 then. Ooh. Okay, so this is one of those things I probably should have tested ahead of time, but the point still stands. Like, Duck Jab still wins here. I don't know what else she immediately has for high crush off the top of my head. But okay, yeah, I mean, there's still, like, things that you can apply pressure with at that frame data. So luckily, I guess down back 3 is not CS6. It's probably like CS8 then in that case. Because, yeah, mathematically, down back 3 should win here if it was CS6. So it's probably either CS7 or CS8. So, again, math, it works sort of thing. Okay, so forget that point. Oh, actually, now, like, say it out loud, though. Let's go ahead and do one final piece of testing here. Oh, okay, no. Well, interesting. So the horns, the heat smash doesn't high crush instant either. Ooh. Spicy. Okay, I'll have to look at the frame data after this. I'm not gonna, I'll probably do an addendum in the comments below. But still, like, whenever I do this, I do these completely cold. Luckily, like I said, the move list itself for her is very basic. Okay, down 4-3+4. Looks very similar to like both Reina roll and like Katarina down 4-3+4. The problem though with her down 4-3+4 is for some reason on block it's -15. Also because it's only active for 1 frame, it's always going to be -15. And then furthermore on counter hit, it only causes a knockdown state where steel pedal is guaranteed. So like I don't really understand the point of this move. Again, even on hit, it's -4. So, like, we're doing something launch punishable for -4, or best case scenario leads to a knockdown. And this type of knockdown we're not going to be able to launch him either because he's like actually on the ground, like a proper hard knockdown, right? So there's no extension there possible whatsoever. So yeah, we just get the little crouch cancel. Oh yeah, that's the other thing of note. I'm kind of cheating. Oh no, I'm not cheating here. Okay. So there's scenarios where, like for instance, full crouch down for 3. Oh, never mind. Okay, there's scenarios where she's FC, and you can't do horns at FC, so you actually have to crouch cancel, and then do down 1+2 to get the steel pedal effect. But no, evidently that's not one of them. Okay. But yeah, I don't quite understand what this is for. I mean, it's an invisible long-range low. Okay, the range is really good. But, I don't know. It really feels like there's probably better things to go for, like down back 4? Yeah, maybe even down back 3 at that range? Okay, no, it doesn't have the range. Okay, so there you go. It's just for long range specifically. Maybe to try to cheese out a win. But yeah, that -4 on hit is nasty. Okay, chip damage on block, causing natural knockdown. So there we go. So I think down 2. Oh no, we are still in full standing. So on block, we do chip damage or -4. So again, -4, sidestep, immediately challenge if they try to mash out. And then also, like the other snake attacks, completely a counter launcher as well. Now, the nice thing is, like normal Ogre, down 2 has really, really good range. So in a similar way, I guess it kind of acts similar to like Clive 442, but Clive 442 is also 21 at its quickest. So this is a little bit slower, although there's no input requirements of like 442 instead. But yeah, the counter on it is nice. And then also, furthermore, again, because it does chip damage while establishing our -4 sidestep game, still pretty good as well. So not bad, pretty good. Okay, down 3 would be our safer high crushing option. Now against a character like Jin, it's a little bit less safe because on block it's -14. But notice how unlike down back 3, which is 22, the down 3 is 20. Also, because it's a lemur tail, this is probably a weapon-based attack, which means you cannot low parry it either. So let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and have Jin test. How can I have him test? Yeah, I'm gonna just presume I'm correct. Yeah, this is probably a weapon-based attack. So yeah, you can't low parry this. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, I'm not gonna do 10 minutes of testing to try to test it and be like, oh yeah, I'm confirming my suspicion. Biases and shit like that. Okay, so on hit, it's only +1. On counter hit, though, it does give us that little foothold stun for a +12. As talked about, only -14, and then also, as it wasn't obvious, the range on down 3 is very, very good. Again, we can even approach it from this range at tip and still clip them with the down 3. Now, the good news is I'm pretty sure it's fairly linear, although sometimes moves like this aren't, so give it a shot. Okay, so we clip that way. Let's go ahead and have him side walk instead. Okay, so maybe down 3 might be one of our best like anti-sidestep tools. Oh, no, we got... Jeez, we got hella full step. Now, the good news is by Jin stepping this way to evade our down 3, that does leave him susceptible to our strong options instead. So there is some good news, let's just say, for Miary Zo. So again, her left is her weak side, kind of historically. So yeah, that sets up our strong tracking to our strong side instead. So okay, still you're gonna use down 3. This is so good, so good, and only -14 is very, very good. I mean, shit. Come to think of it, is this like the same range as like down forward 3+4? Okay, not quite the same range, but it's damn close. Yeah, it's close. And here, down forward 3+4. Okay, that's just also missed. So down forward 3+4 has like a quarter range more, but also is launch punishable with worse reward too. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say how the meta is going to shake up. I imagine we'll see more down 3 than down forward 3. Who knows? Let's see damage-wise. 14, 17. Okay. Coin flip. It's a coin flip for sure. Oh, down 1+2 is our horns on block -17, so we're dead. We do have some evasion to it, but evidently not as much as anticipated. Now, as you see there, against airborne opponent, causes the immediate spin. Also, against a ground opponent, causes a... okay, I guess not a proper steel pedal. It put him into a push-away state instead. So it steel pedals, but doesn't give us a steel pedal effect. So it's just a ground hitting mid. Interesting. So yeah, also instant spin is kind of rough because in the old Tekken Tag 1, you would do the horns option and then it'd be like your combo extender. So kind of similar to like a Lily full crouch down forward 2 or down forward 1, whatever it is, sort of thing. So now it's just an instant spin instead. So with that being said, this is your all in, highly evasive probably, and then big like almost class 1. Yeah, it's like right at class 1, class 2. So big boy damage incoming off of this, but if they block it, you're dead. Now the good news is, see there, the range is still pretty good. The issue, as you also see, 19, you're not punishing shit with I-19. Don't worry about it. Oh, evidently it does chip on block. Cool. Again, you get hit by it, you're dead. Okay, down back 2-3. This is an interesting attack. So first of all, down back 2-3 is oh no, we're not to it yet. My bad. So this is kind of like a filler tool. So it's weird that she has it. It is I-15, so down back 2 is I-15. So there is some speed problems with it. It is NC. And then I think it's kind of designed to be used as filler. So we kind of hit our opponent back into the air. I don't know. The damage potential kind of feels bad on it, which is why I'd be like, oh yeah, don't ever worry about damage 2-3. But yeah, minus 11, I don't know. Like, there's probably better filler than damage 2-3. Like, can we get like, okay, whatever. Like, no one would want to do a combo like that. So to complement it, we do have down back a 2-4, which as usual transitions into bow stance. On block is minus 13. Also, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the counter hit here. But yeah, same thing. NC option. But on 15, you're on to go for down forward 2 anyway, which again is completely safe on block. So don't want to shift the bow stance. We'll hold back as well to be again left into that minus 6 on natural hit. Down back 3, really good low. On hit, it's +5, giving that like kind of knockdown state. On counter hit, it is an instant launcher. Very, very good. Also, it's not a spin launcher, so we get a full combo afterwards. Okay, whatever. I haven't bothered with the combo. Now, issue, of course, on block, it's death, so it's a complete stagger option instead. Just be careful if you go for that. Also, similar to Miary Zo problems, there's no tracking on it. So sidestep is going to be your best way to beat an option like this. But range-wise, though, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good option. It's right on the cusp of invisible. So more people are going to get hit by this than not get hit by it. Also, the fact that she has like safe advancing mids makes it such that her low game is even more naturally scary because people aren't going to want to duck into like into a safe fucking wall splat launcher, right? So they're going to be more Pringles to options like down back 3. But again, if your opponent guesses correctly, you will die for it. So just please keep that in mind. Now, to complement an all-in tool like down back 3, she has down back 4. Down back 4 is I-18. She does take a little hop. I don't know if there's any crushing on it. She might be crushing for a few frames. But on counter hit, there's nothing special. The benefit of this move is on block, it's only minus 12. So that's the good news. So only like Dragonov and a few other I-11s are very scary. But yeah, for the most part, like Lydia full crush down for 2 on 12, shit like that. But who cares? This is going to be your go-to chip low. Also, it's +1 on hit, minus 11, 12 on block. So it's pretty good. Damage is not bad. I mean, 13 damage for a low is not horrible at all. So yeah, nothing wrong with this move. Also, if I remember correctly, does it have some tracking? Nope, 0. Don't. Okay, don't. One of them has tracking. Maybe, oh, I think it was down 3, which we already tested, so we'll forget about that. Okay, down back 1+2. This looks like a homing attack. It's not. It looks very similar to Zafina back 2. Again, +13 leaves them in crouching, so we can either go for the 3-2 heat engage. We can either go for 3-1 into +4 stance. But at the same time, why would you go for 3-1 when you go for down forward 1-1 into forward at +8 into, you know, the Morengy Miroso, or the final one, of course, being down forward 1-4 +6 into bow stance as well. So you do have a wealth of options. I think there is some crush to this, so it's not horrible. But, oh, +3 on block. So it's actually better than I thought, too. So on block, it causes a little guard break animation. So, okay, not bad. You're by the wall, crush them, 3-2, pressure, full wall splat launcher. Bob is your uncle. You're good to go. Okay, on the topic of punishers, again, back 1-4 has absurd range for a 12 framer. Of course, it is a high, but the good news on block, again, because she's doing the bow option, it's only -13. Who cares? Now, on counter hit, is there anything on the final hit? Ah, yeah, there it is. Final hit. Oh, no, okay, so it doesn't. No, we're getting to it soon, though, where we have bonus counter hit properties. But yeah, really, really good. I like this animation. It reminds me of the one character from Street Fighter 5. Her name, the Brazilian lady. But yeah, she has this kind of like hook hit option, you know, kind of like Anna QCF one as well. But yeah, really, really good. As noted, it does cause instant spin, but more importantly, it doesn't actually put you into stance. So you use the bow, but you don't enter the bow stance. So oftentimes, this is going to be like a really easy combo extender, or there it dropped out. But yeah, you don't know what to do. Back 1-4 is fine, but as shown, the high part of it is kind of rough. But yeah, by the wall, this I-12 wall splat. Of course, you go for like a 4-4. You don't get a wall splat, but you're +6. So risk versus reward for -13. Yeah, it's not bad to go for a back 1-4. Especially, again, because you can consider the range on the move itself is also, again, very, very good. Evidently not that good. Here? Yeah, still pretty good. Like 1.5-ish. A little bit south of 1.5, but still not bad at all. Again, risk versus reward. There's nothing wrong with just going for that. Okay, back to 3-2 is a weird attack. So first of all, so this is one of those specialty punishes. So back 2 is 13. So technically, you can do back 3-2 into Morengy Miroso, which is a homing option, right? But again, on 13, downward 1-1 is +8. Also does more damage. So yeah, this is like I said, you don't have to learn the specialty punishes because you have better options. So the range on it's pretty good. Now there is a weird bug where if I hit back 2 solo, I saw this on Twitter. If I just go for back 2 and then I hit right after. Oh, there you go. So back 2-3 comes out even though I'm just hitting back 2. There actually is a couple other bugs that I don't want to talk about here with Miary Zo, but they're mostly bot related. I found these bugs out, and I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of bad if that's the case. Then I went and did the opposite. I played as Jin and let Miary be the robot, and then I tested it like as a human. I'm like, okay, this doesn't work. There's some weird bot quirks with the character. Maybe they'll be expounded and people find actual tech with them. But no, it's some weird bot glitches with Miary Zo. So it's weird that like she has like this bug too, where the back 2-3 comes out immediately. So this one is like bad for Miary, but the other ones are kind of, yeah, not as good. Okay, so yeah, she can shift to this. Obviously, this move acts very similar to like Reina, high kick, back 4 sort of thing, where she does a homing high into a high. Here, the difference is the approach. Now, we can go full route, which is safe on block, but it's non-jailing. Also, furthermore, it's not actually NCC either, so not super good. Okay, yeah, even the second hit and the third hit is not NC either. Although it should be NCC? No, it's not even NCC. Wow, that's kind of rough. I think I tested that too. Okay, back 3-4-2 is going to be your go-to filler. Again, the game wants you up 3, back 3-4-2, strong aerial tailspin. And then hold forward, usually to transition into stance. So, 2, hold forward, and then do Morengy Miroso 2. Spin option, and then do the ender of your choice. So yeah, keep in mind, you're not doing back 3-4 into it. You're doing back 3-4-2, and then transitioning into mirror stance. As I also talked about, back 3 has very, very good range. I-16, -5, but if you transition, which you can't, my bad, I forgot about that. We just literally talked about that. So yeah, sometimes the 16 is better to go for than trying to force like the 18 or something like that. Just something of note. Yeah, obviously double high at the end, very similar to like 4-4-4-4. Yeah, they can just duck the full string out. She doesn't have very many mid-ender extensions, apart from a few of them. Okay, back 4. we've shown this move here. The back 4 does have strong tracking to our left. So there you go. Jin is trying to step it. Gets clipped by the strong tracking. But also on the flip side, it has a 0 tracking to the right. So look at that. He sidesteps to left, a flash step. Yeah, we're dead. Okay, so the good news is on hit, we do get a knockdown, which does mean we also get a wall splat. Also, the really good attack is on block. It's only -2. So -2 is the perfect frame data to set up a Rage Art. So you're probably going to see this trap a lot. Back 4, Rage Art. Your opponent goes for anything. So again, we'll do a 10 framer and let's put us up on Rage. So, you know, video number 3, top right corner. You do anything, the Rage Art wins. Like straight up, the Rage Art just beats, right? So that's going to be your kind of day 1, week 1 Rage Art trap, which is, to be honest, probably going to catch me too. Okay, so here is the actual good news, apart from it being a strong tracking. So the actual good news is on counter hit, the back 4 causes the bop state knockdown. Now the issue is there's big pushback. So like, you know, chase down with steel pedal. There might be some more juice here. Like, yeah, I see like QCF1 is not going to hit there. So yeah, you're just going to get the knockdown into some sort of ground hitting option. Also, again, this is a proper knockdown. There's no combo extension possible. Yeah, we're just too far away. So, of course, by the wall, you get the wall splat. But there's going to be a substantial dead zone where nothing's actually guaranteed. So you just get the follow-up after. That's all you're going to be looking for. There's probably going to be some, like, tricky gimmicks. Like, for instance, dash up down back 3 to flip over the opponent into, like, maybe running Q1 pressure. But still, I think it's just going to be a Rage Art trap. That's the only thing you're going to be looking at, realistically. Okay, her back plus 2 is not bad, but it's also not good. This is her Power Crush. On block, this is -13. It causes a wall splat. Now, the good news is I-18, and the range is good. So, speed-wise, it's actually, you know, right on target for a mid. The problem, though... Let's see here. Oh, we already turned it off. The problem is when we absorb attacks, we don't actually get, like, any charge up. So, the game says... you know, absorb and attack to power up, deal more chip damage on block. So usually there's like a special animation or your character that has like multiple hits in their hit. Like for instance, whenever Clive does his Power Crush back 1+2, usually it hits you like 3 times, like bop, 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 or 4 times, 5 times. But if he hits you once, it's just a solo hit. Dragunov does like a running knee sort of thing. But yeah, hers is just the same animation. And there's like, it doesn't do more damage. So I don't know if Namco forgot to add the Power Crush bonus on this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't buff Power Crushes, please. But I think Namco forgot. Yeah, so for now, it's just a -13 Power Crush Turnstile with a decent range and wall splat. Decent range, though, because I think all of them would probably hit at this range anyway, so who cares? Okay, back 3+4. So, first and foremost, so she has a female jump away. So, up, up, back. Let's see, what does she do at the wall? Oh, she does have a wall run. Interesting. So, again, so she flips away by doing up, up, back. You want to gain distance from your opponent, jump away, do that special technique, right? Now, she can also basically do a King-style Jaguar away with back 3+4. Notice the recovery speed and the sound is different. So here we're flipping away very quiet. Back 3+4 is just a jump away and she makes noise. And the idea is this is how you enter into Tromba stance. Now you can only enter into Tromba stance by a wall. So if the wall is to our back 3+4, we hold onto the wall and then fall off a few, second later. Now, as shown, we can also perform this to the side by doing up 3+4 if the wall's to our left, or down 3+4 if the wall's to our right. Now, I don't think you're going to be using this for evasion. Kind of similar to Pigeon Roll. I think this is mostly going to be gimmicks. But when the wall is there, okay, now we're cooking with gas, where we can go for our Tromba 4 option. Also, as talked about, If we're under effects of heat mode, we can enter into Tromba by simply doing it without a wall. So down 3+4, up 3+4. The only requirement is heat. It costs you meter, but you can attack right after for no cost of it. Our Tromba 4. Talk about it. Oh, no, okay, I jumped the gun here. But yeah, that's special mobility. But the fact that you can control which wall you jump on is actually kind of cool. And get our shit there. So that might actually be very evasive. But in a normal situation, like this probably isn't that evasive. You'll probably get killed more often than not just going for it raw. So just, your mileage may vary. Okay, up 3 is weird because it's safe on block. It does cause an ass ton. So for being safe, it's actually pretty good. Counter hit, it causes the flop state. But as we've shown earlier, under heat mode, we have up 3-2, which is our spin launcher. And then furthermore, on block, again, this is -9 with pushback. So yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty fucking good move. Not only do you have like the filler potential, right? The link in combo into up 3 and back 3-4 too, shit like that, right? But like in general, this is not a bad move. Now, with that being said, it's probably super linear. You sidestep it, but still, like it's pretty good. Again, a jumping attack. It's probably the tail attack, so she's hitting with a weapon, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, still really, really good. It just becomes better with heat. Okay, up 4 is a solo kind of hop kick entrance into stance. Similar to down forward 1-4, up 4 is also a counter launcher. Now, it does say up back 4, but please note, up back 4 is the same input as up 4. Yeah, it's identical. It's going to be the same attack entering the Baobab. Also, we can hold back, again, to -6. Otherwise, the counter hit is going to be the benefit on an option like up 4. Oh, okay, we're not there yet. My bad, my bad. Okay, up 1+2. This is on block, +4. On natural hit, this is +13, but as we've shown earlier, +13 where we are also in full crouch. So that means wall stand 1-4 is guaranteed. Now, let's say you don't know how to hit confirm up 1+2 with really high confidence, right? Now, the good news is, again, this is +4 on block. And then furthermore, you can mash out the 1. And if you confirm the hit, then you can hit the 4. But if you don't confirm the hit, just do the wall stand 1. Wall stand 1 is completely safe on block. Also at this like +4 frame data, there really is no counterplay against wall stand 1 apart from Power Crush or Rage Art anyway. So they have to take incoming. So if you don't know what to do, confirm the 1 and then let the 1-4 rock. Again, you can mash out the 1 and then get the final hit out by hitting 4. That's one of the nice things with like the buffer system in this game. Very, very liberal when it comes to that. Okay, similar to up 4, up 1+2 and up back 1+2 are the exact same attack. So this is just like, okay, if you fuck up the input, you don't get penalized for it. Of course, up 1+2, up forward 1+2 is a throw. So that is bad, but up 1+2 and up back 1+2, it's the same shit. They're not even more evasive or anything. Okay, up forward 1 is an attack throw. Deals decent damage. Now, the problem on block, it is -15. So I don't know what human would launch punish this. Now, at the wall, oops, at the wall, we can do spin and then up forward 1 and do a hit like this. Also, if there's a floor break beneath you or like some sort of floor blast, actually technically down forward 2 into up forward 1 would do the most damage launcher possible. Because if you notice the 47 damage here, if I front load here, see, we haven't even done 47 yet and we haven't spinned. So like damage potential wise, it's actually pretty good to do. Look at 43 damage, 6 hits versus now. Okay, so here's the thing of note. This says it's 4 hits. This is not a 4 hit. So this is only a single hit attack. So the punch counts as a hit. And even though the counter is incrementing, for same thing, all intents and purposes on the back end code, this is only 2 hits in our combo. So this is by far the most damage possible to do off of a single launcher if there's a floor break beneath you. So, some minor thing of note, but again, it's death, and then again at the wall, you can link in the combo with that either. Also, only problem though, you can't, apart from one jab, notice how the damage potential is actually dog shit, because we're scaling with the jab. So at the end of a combo, it's okay to do a jab into up forward 2, but like for instance, we can't link, oh, there's down forward 1 link. Oh, interesting, when I tested earlier, oh, maybe it's because the down forward 2 is high splatting here. I'm not too sure. But yeah, usually, oh yeah, 3-2. I'll do jab into up forward 1. Yeah, not the best example. I'll do 1 jab. Yeah, they have to be high splatted such that the attack throw still lands. So mileage may vary, just please note that. Now the good news, technically, we can do that, and that will still link. Just be careful though, because again, if you fuck up the up forward 1, you have the recovery speed, and then again on block you are technically dead. So just be careful with that. But yeah, it's cool to have that. There will be better combo optimization as people get a better grasp of this character that are in the ballpark. Okay, so let's not talk about up forward 2-3. Let's talk about up forward 2-4. So up forward 2-4 similar to up back, the down back 2 is slower. It's 17. Now we can perform this as up back 2, up 2, or up forward 2. It's all the same move. So up forward 2-4 is not NC, but it is also NCC. But the main point of the up forward 2-4 is just to mix in up forward 2-3. So same thing, up back 2, up forward 2, same thing. Up forward 2-3, which is an NC high low. So you want to end the game, up forward 2-3, and then best of all, you see there, only -14 on block. So that means your opponent has to defend it by low pairing it. But yeah, this is being NC helps out tremendously. But you want to cheese out a win, up forward 2-3 will be your go-to option. But again, up forward 2-4 is just here to mix up the up forward 2-3. Your opponent wants to get cheeky with ducking. You know, you're playing against Jin. He wants to duck this up forward 2-3 and launch it with wall stand 2. Well, that's where up forward 2-4 comes into play. Okay, up forward 3. I think we talked about this earlier. It's really, really good. So first of all, like any other fucking attack she has, like look at that, the range. The range is crazy. So +6. It is high, so as talked about, they can technically duck the first hit and better punish you, but again, on block, this is completely jailing. And then, as you see there on block, we're -7. We're only -7. And then under the effects of heat mode again, we have this super long range tail, which leads to a full launcher. So what's the not like about this? This is like literally a better version of Armor King Down Back 2-1. Like straight up, this is just a better version of it because the initial up forward 3 mix-up, or sorry, lack of mix-up, just the attack in general, is a jailing string that's safe on block and a weapon-based jumping attack too. So like, yeah, super, super good. Like now Jin and, you know, Clive and shit like that will be able to parry it, but that's it. That's all you have to worry about. Who cares? Super, super good move. Even better under heat. Okay, up 4-4-4. Not that move. There you go. Is our hop kick. You can diagonal cancel, of course, with the up 4-4. Technically, it does more damage than wall stand 2, but the combo potential is different simply because, yeah, you have the spin state earlier instead in the combo. But yeah, the range on it is pretty good. I think even better than like down forward 2. Yeah, you see there, down forward 2 whiffed, whereas up 4-4-4 hit. You, again, can go for 1+2, which also, well, has less range than I thought. But still, you want to go all in for with the hop kick. And also, like the other bound attacks, you're only -13, so it's not that bad. Sorry, and also, like, other hop kicks are -13. So it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Also, the threat of the solo up 4-4 is there. You see a string penalty on it, but again, a human's not going to, you know, that. Okay, up 3+4 is up forward 3+4 is a really weird move. She does a cartwheel attack. And best of all, not only is it safe, it's also a launcher. It's a full launching cartwheel attack. Now, granted, it's probably linear because, you know, she's advancing double mid. But still, like, pretty good. You know, +20, -5 on block. Now, what's weird is you can cancel it by doing up back. I think it's going to be mostly used as taunt. I think people are going to do this at the end of the round. Like, again, this is like taunt meta. But yeah, why would you not go for the full route up 3+4 off of like sidestep for alignment when it's safe and it's a launcher? So the cancel is just a taunt, literally. But otherwise, it's a launcher. What? Hell, a good attack. Cartwheel attack, so yeah, no reversals either. You have take incoming. Strong parry works only. That's it. That's super good. Probably going to be one of her best moves. Speaking of best moves, we have 4-4-2-2, which as we've shown already. NC wall splat. under the effects of, under the effects of heat is charged up for more damage. Notice how much further the pushback is. Well, versus this. Oh, okay, never mind. It's basically the same pushback. It's just 47 damage rather than 32. So even better than the 5 from earlier. Good damage. Now, the other benefit is, as talked about, -9. Under the effects of heat mode, though, turns into a -1. And then that -1, like, the world is your oyster. You can go for anything. Yeah, Rage Art traps, you name it, throws, Down 3 turn steals. -1 is nasty work. Again, for a safe attack, and unlike an option like Mir 1-2, which looks very similar with the high, yeah, the fucking 2 is a bunch of mids. I don't know why she can perform that out of normal non-heat mode. It's also safe on block. Feels a little misplaced. Okay, 443 is a advancing homing attack. +6 on natural hit, +6 on counter hit. Now, at first glance, it doesn't look very nice or very good. It is safe on block, so it's naturally decent. The benefit of this attack is the fact that it's a strong aerial tailspin state. Okay, that combo missed, but our typical combo will land. But yeah, that's going to be your strong aerial. Now, the good news is the speed on it on 20. Now, granted, 4 forward, 3, you know, it's going to burn like, 2 frames at least. But the speed for an option like this is actually pretty good. For instance, oh, well, okay, 24 is right on the cusp of like possible or human, but no, sorry, not human, like robot, but it's not going to happen. But there are combo structures where you can actually land the 4-4-3 mid-combo and still link in the hit afterwards. So, yeah, it's better than it looks. It's also not flashy, though, so I don't think... Like, okay, it does spark at least. But yeah, it's going to be your strong aerial tailspin state. As talked about, 2 tailspins max. And again, your back 3, 4, 2 does count as a strong aerial tailspin. And your third one cannot link into a Rage Art. So, unlike a character like Fakamlam, who can still do his third hit down 4 into Rage Art, because basically he's an ultra tall. Miary Zo does not have that benefit. So again, even though her Rage Art looks very, very far hitting, not far hitting enough. Okay, backpack 2+3 is your retreating unblockable. Evasive, kind of similar to like Dragonov, upback 1+2. Yeah. I don't think it causes wall splat for launcher. I am 100% wrong. I don't think Dragonov's does. Fuck, man. Okay, whatever. Okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Okay, QCF1, completely safe on block. Doesn't do anything special. Just hits the shit out of the opponent. Does cause a wall splat. Now, the benefit, of course, it being an elbow, so you can't reverse it. Stuff like that. It's mostly just like a long-range kind of poke option that's safe on block. You want to fish for that wall splat? Yeah, just let's throw out the QCF1. Again, there's no crouch dash for her, so this is a bufferable QCF1. Which is very, very important to understand frame data-wise. So technically, I guess this would be a 17-frame Punisher with pushback. So, okay. I guess now that I say it out loud, that means you can punish Death Fist and stuff like that. Although if you punish... Well, I mean, I guess punishing Death Fist with this wouldn't be that hard. Because, like, mentally you're thinking QCF2, so you just do QCF1 instead. Okay, it's a Punisher. Otherwise, safe wall splat. Oh, and then finally, again, this is also going to be your... Heat dash cancel ender. Just do QCF1 right away. Can hit on that grounded kind of flop state. Okay, running 2-1 is interesting. So first and foremost, you can transition into Morengy Miroso, but on hit, it's because it puts him to a flop where Morengy Miroso 2 is guaranteed. So that's the idea. So you're always going to want to transition into Morengy Miroso. There you go. So you've got a full launcher as well. So you're always going to want to hold forward, simply because on block, this is only +1, and knows the pushback, but if we get it, we're now +4 in much closer range to our opponent, so always hold forward. Now, what's important to note, first of all, it's fast. I-14, so technically you can go this off of Heat Engager and go for running 2-1 right away, but they still can duck jab technically at -9. But yeah, bufferable would be on a 14, otherwise you're looking at your 18-frame option. But the wall splat on it is definitely the best part about it, right? Leading to full launcher. Now, the difference with hers, because hers acts very similar to like Asusena running 3-2, which can transition to lead, but only on block. Here, the 1 always comes out. So even if we whiff the running 2, the running 2-1 still occurs. So that's a big, big difference with Miary Zo versus a character like Asusena. So that right away is a massive fucking deal. Also, not only is this a running attack, well, it's a running attack, so you can't reverse it. But then she ends with an elbow on the ending as well, so same thing. Can't reverse that either. But yeah, it's not bad. Now, normally, this wouldn't be that good, right? Because on block, you're just looking at that +4 into Morengy stance. But it's because she has a mix-up. Now, granted, the issue here, the running 3 is kind of floaty. But we have a mix-up to our running 2-1. So if your opponent really wants to duck, we have running 3 here. Now, here is the interesting part. So notice how, as usual, we are +6 into bow stance. There's a secret, though. Now, if we hold back to cancel out of bow stance, uh-oh, we're still +6. That's a big fucking deal. So not only, unlike these other stances where, again, we cancel bow stance, and instead of +6, we get penalized with a -6, right? Running 3 maintains that important +6 frame data. So why am I calling important frame data? So +6 is important because if we go back to what we had shown earlier, let me go ahead and go punish. And you know what we'll do? We'll have, jabs are fine. So we'll do running 3, cancel. Uh-oh. Our down forward 4 hits on 16. So if our opponent wants to disrespect -6, they're going to eat a down forward 4 right away. They have to hold that shit immediately. Not even like considering the fact like you can just go for down forward 2, right? You're going to beat them cleanly by a frame. But down forward 4 is effectively safe on block, as we talked about. That -4, and then furthermore, the transition also is on table. So there you go. See, also part of the mix-up as well. We can go for running 3, down forward 4, and then still OS it. If he goes for anything else, like a late jab instead, we go under the jabs with the mirror 1-2 instead, due to the crushing state on it. So yeah, there is some juice there. Same thing that is probably going to catch a lot of people. For the most part, I think meta will be running 2-1 with Miary Zo, but the running 3 also is on the table. Okay, we're basically done with the move list here. Her 10 string, the 3rd hit, or 7th hit, sorry, is a low. You're looking at the stand 3 on the animation, and then the low comes out immediately. Or instead. She has a taunt that cannot be canceled. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking at that taunt, studying it very hard. We've got a key charge, typical. For wall stand, we have wall stand 1-4, which is our I-13 heat engager. Non-launching heat engager, so we pop it. We're going to be put into that flop state. But still pretty good. Now, the nice thing with the wall stand 1-4, okay, good, cover it. On block, it's only -13. And of course, it does cause wall splat launcher. And then, of course, furthermore, I-13. Right? So not that bad. Not bad whatsoever. As talked about the wall stand 1, being safe also helps out tremendously to maintain pressure and keep our opponent guessing of what is coming next. Wall stand 2, your typical I-15. What is weird about her wall stand 2, though, on block, this is -13. I don't quite know why. So usually female wall stand 2s do have some crush, so it's possible maybe this has some high crush on it. I guess rather than speculating, I can just test it right now. No, it doesn't crush. I don't know why it's -13 then. Yeah, I'm not too sure. The range on it is decent. I think that's probably the benefit, really. But again, same thing on 15. Diagonal cancel hop kick is also on the table, so she doesn't need the wall stand 2 per se. Okay, the range is better than anticipated. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to hit right now. But we still have hop kick, yeah. Hop kick still hits, also still -13. Although I guess technically hop kick would be easy to react to. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. Okay, wall stand 3. Insanely good move. So on hit, it's +7. On counter hit, it's a counter hit launcher, like full launcher, so not even like an instant spin launcher. We're good to go with that. But on block, it's actually +4. Now, similar to like Miary Zo's problems, you're going to want to sidestep against wall stand 3 here. But yeah, to have this like be plus frames, counter launcher, and +7 on hit is still fucking nasty. Very, very good move. Be prepared to see wall stand 3 constantly. Because yeah, +54, I mean, that's our typical down 4-4-3 line. Down 4-4 line, sorry. Like super, super good for a better than safe plus frame counter launcher? Yeah, what's not to like about that? Okay, wall stand 4 is a snap kick, so if they are low enough, you could technically pick them up. I don't think she has any snap kick combos, but this is your typical like I-11. You see +11 there. Does 15 damage, so good damage, but still, it's nothing to write home about. You're going to be your typical snap kick. Out of full crouch, she does have full crouch down 4-4. As it mentions, it does require clean range, which can get fucked up by Axie, but it does cause a knockdown state. And then same thing, we get our horns immediately after for our ground hit option. If you're all in, of course, this is death on block. No surprise there, so similar to like Dynamic 3. Although there is no counter hit on full crouch down 4-4, it just causes knockdown on natural hit. But again, clean only. So on tip, you're going to have to be careful with that. And then, like I said, Axie problems as well. Sometimes even here, you're not even going to be like clean due to Axie. Oh, there it worked, but trust me, you'll get burnt if you have ever played a full crouch character before. Okay, Sidestep 2 is probably her best move, which is hard to say because she has quite a few really key moves. Sidestep 2, not only is it +3 on hit, not only is it +1 on block, on counter hit, it's a double over, or actually a crumple stun launcher. I don't know why she has this. Now, similar to other Miary problems, I mean, it is linear, but yeah, so good. Your plus frame, stagger, your sidestep 2 timing, throw them off, and then apply further pressure. And then if you hit them counter hit, you're good to go. And then on top of that, the fact that you transition off of the sidestep 2 for our +4 or +6 on hit is really, really nice too, to shift into mirror stance. Yeah, it definitely feels overtuned. I don't know why she has it. Now, I guess saying it out loud, this is a snake attack, and as we've talked about, snake attacks are all launchers. But still, I don't know. Okay, mirror stance, hold forward 3, or tap forward 3. You can transition into FC by tapping down back, where you can hold it, and as talked about, go for, full crouch down 4-4, for instance. Although I have to make that input a little bit clean. Okay, there you go. Speed it up. Yeah, so not bad. I typically want to go for Hell Sweep anyway. Okay, so from mirror stance, we have 1-2. That is a heat engager. I-13. Now, unlike an option, because I've been drawing parallels to a character like Lars Dynamic Entry. So unlike Lars Dynamic Entry, 3-1, which does jail, or sorry, 1-2, which does jail. Her 1-2 unfortunately does not jail. So whenever you're going for the mirror 1-2, you're kind of going all in. So the nice thing is the speed, of course, but still, it is kind of rough. Now the good news, as talked about, she stays in FC and then stands up to attack. So you could still evade some highs with initial mirror 1. But yeah, you are taking a risk by going for it. So it does say strong tracking to the right, but unfortunately that does leave us susceptible to our opponent's left, where we will get kind of blown up for it. Okay, to mix it up, we do have 1-4, which does transition into stance. And if I remember correctly, similar to our other up 4 variations. Yeah, we also get the counter hit launch on that as well. And then, of course, naturally, we're minus... again, this doesn't jail, so he'll fucking let go. The fact it doesn't jail is really, really, actually really, really... But we are minus 13, because it's the same as our up 4. And then, again, like it says, you can not transition by holding back, but again, you are going to be stuck at that -6 frame data. Okay, Mirror 2, as talked about, is very, very good. This does tend to track to her weak side, although it's mostly on like that +6 frame data. At +2 and stuff like that, and minus frames, the Mirror 2 does not actually work. Now, the good news, well, again, it does cause this instant spin. So against an airborne opponent, of course, it's going to be your spin extender, but it does cause Steel Pedal against a grounded position, just like Dynamic Entry 2 with Lars. And just like Lars is Dynamic Entry 2, Mirror 2 is also a counter launcher. The difference, though, being that it causes instant spin rather than a crumple stun for Lars. But all intents and purposes, otherwise, it's identical move to Lars. Okay, for Mirror 3, this is going to be our Power Crush. On block, it's -13, but she does tend to kick the shit out of you. Also, you do have the Power Crush wall splat full launcher as well. So -13 isn't that bad. Also, looks like she takes a step before she does it. There might be a bug there. Hard to say. I haven't tested it, but I just noticed it right. Okay, and then finally, to mix up both the fear of Mirror 3, Mirror 2, and then a Mirror 1 sort of option, which is also a mid, we have our Hell Sweep. So Mirror 3, 4, +6 on hit. This is a non-jailing, or sorry, it is jailing on hit, but if they block the incoming Mirror 3, 4, they duck it, and then you see there, our Hell Sweep is very much launch punishable. And then furthermore, he does have the extension, Mirror 4, 3, 1 + 2, but same thing, is also very much launch punishable. Not only can you interrupt the third hit, but on block, you are dead. Now, the good news is we can't talk about that full Hell Sweep Mirror 3, 4, or 4, 3 without talking about Mirror 4. And Mirror 4 by itself is only -12. So if you want to chicken out and you don't want to commit to anything, like so let's say your opponent has like 5 health and you don't want to leave yourself susceptible to launch punishment, yeah, just hit it with the Mirror 4. At the bare minimum, you can go for a Mirror 4. You're -1, so it's not your churn, quote unquote, but you can immediately churn Steel after. And also, again, the fact that it's only -12 on block, very, very, very good. So don't forget about Mirror 4 by itself. You don't always have to go for the Hell Sweep. Okay, we have one final button out of Mirror Stance, which is Mirror 1 + 2. So Mirror 1 + 2 is overhead dunk, such that Bow 2 is guaranteed. On block, we are plus frames, +6 into Bow, so either way we are getting a mix-up. Similar to the other problems like with Mirror Stance, the Mirror 1 + 2 is very, very linear. So in order to stop Sidestep out of Mirror, we are going to have to commit to basically, we'll see, Mirror 4 missed there because actually he didn't have to take the incoming. But like for instance, if he eats the 112 at +5, Mirror 4 is going to track both ways regardless. So that Mirror 4 is going to be, again, your anti-sidestep and chicken out. Of course, if you know they're going to sidestep, you can go full Hell Sweep and get that +6. But Mirror 4 is going to be how you stop moving. Because otherwise, like options like 1 + 2 and whatnot are just way too linear. And assuming they're always stepping your weak side, you are going to get blown up. So Mirror 1 + 2 is like, okay, your big plus frames. You know they're going to respect you. You can fish for it. But again, Power Crushes, Heat Bursts, Rage Arts, general movement is going to blow you up. Okay, so Mirror 3 + 4 is not an attack. It just transitions into Bow Stance. So again, we can't infinitely hold Bow. So this will be transition. Okay, now I want to go for Hell Sweep. Okay, that didn't work out. Maybe I want to go for Bow 3 for homing Heat Engager. Hey, you got it, bro. Okay, you're good to go. Now, the compliment that finally... okay, yeah, so she also has Body Splash. I don't know if this does anything. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I mean, it's just, it's safe on block, but... Okay, is this like good enough to stop sidestepping? Okay, so it's a mid version of anti-sidestep. Let's go ahead and have him walk the other way just to confirm. So that's the reason for the Body Splash. Okay, so it does stop sidestep, but again, that's presuming you are at plus frames. Again, you don't need the big plus. Oh no, see, even at +5 we miss. So we do need big plus. So at +8 they can't step it. Okay, sure. Okay, let's go ahead and turn off sidestep because we don't need it now. Let's see. Okay, so Bow by itself is 3 + 4. Again, you can cancel stance by tapping down back. Again, otherwise she will just fall out of it. And then furthermore, again, there is no Power Crush either. You are in the stance or in the stance. As we talked about earlier, when you transition into a stance, you can instantly cancel it with an attack. By instant cancel, sorry, I mean the frame opens up and then it's going to work on the first frame. So you can listen to it. So I'm hitting it like a half second before it even comes out. So the key option she's going to have from Bao stance is Bao 1. So Bao 1 will put her back into stance, but if you notice there, I-13, it is plus frames block. So it is our churn, quote unquote, right after. But to get out of this, we usually want to commit to Bao 1-4. Now the nice thing, Bao 1-4, completely safe on block. So if we want to cancel out of Bao stance and remain fairly safe, 1-4 is going to be our go-to option. Now by the wall, it does lead to a full launcher naturally. But of course this is a high. So if our opponent wants to duck, anticipating the high, they can duck it and launch us for like a snap kick. So even if you go for the Bao 1-4, the snap kick is still going to interrupt that follow-up hit and then full launch. But again, +6, this is a 13. This is going to be Power Crushes, Rage Arts, shit like that. Or actually, no, it just beats Rage Arts technically. No. What? No. Oh yeah. It only beats Rage Art because you're +3. So you're -7 inversely. Okay, so yeah, see that's part of the problem with like knowing all the frame data with this character, right? There is no like thing you have to worry about. And again, with an option like Bao 2 not being a power crushing launcher, now granted it has insane range, but yeah, you don't have to. You're by that -18, you're kind of going all in, but without the power crush benefit of an option like Zafina Scarecrow 4, for instance. But we do have this. And then as we've shown earlier, against airborne opponent, this does cause spin. And then furthermore, because of the range on it, that's oftentimes one of the best ways to end your combo. Like you don't know what to do. Down forward 1-4, Bao 2. Okay, it doesn't hit there, but in most situations will allow you to end your combo that way. But yeah, Bao 2, very much all in. Now the good news, you fall out of stance. The bad news is, yeah, you're -18, so very much launch punishable. Okay, so if our opponent wants to sidestep Bao, Bao 3 is our go-to. As you see there, -9 on block. On hit, this is a heat engager. And then furthermore, with heat dash cancel, is a full launcher as well. So we do have that going for us. The fact that it's safe on block is good. Notice though we're +6 into an 18, which means there's a limb frame window for our opponent to mash out and or power crush. And then furthermore, if we go for like down 4-1-4 into Bao 3, if we get heat bursted, notice how she's still airborne, you're gonna get launched. So oftentimes against Bao stance, one of the best things you probably can do is just heat burst to challenge it. Now, if you anticipate heat burst to challenge it, well, we do have one answer, and that answer is Bao 4. So Bao 4 is our hell sweep. That was weird. Oh, did he block it? Is that what happened? Okay. Yeah, it is death on block. It is a hell sweep after all. -24 on block. But this hits on 18. So at +6, there's simply no frames for a power crush to beat the hell sweep on 18. Please note though, similar to like, okay, so if the opponent has rage art will beat this because the attack will be interrupted. Now, if they rage art and you go for Bao 1-4 instead, well, then there's not enough frames to interrupt it, right? Because that's a now +3, and you need at least, at most -2 or +2 to interrupt with rage art. So first of all, if they have rage, you're probably going to be forced to go for Bao 1-4, and then the meta then becomes, okay, do they power crush, do they heat burst, do they duck the Bao 1, so on and so forth. Otherwise, Bao 4 without rage is going to be your go-to. Against airborne opponent, as we've shown, Bao 4 is a spin extender, so you do have that as well. But similar to hell sweeps, yeah, just sidestep it, but then Bao 3 becomes the option. Again, remember, you're only ever +6, so the mental game has to be on target to really, really effectively use Bao stance, because again, your opponent's going to know what's happening. So we can cancel Bao stance by holding forward. Similar to forward 3 Morengy Miroso, which can go into stance, we can effectively stance by doing that. So forward 3, 3 plus 4, forward 3 plus 4, forward 3 plus 4, forward 3 plus 4. So we can keep stance dancing in our opponent's face. If you want to stay into bow stance by not canceling Morengy, you can tap up forward or up back. So notice how during bow up and up forward, she can't actually retreat. So up back is not a thing. But up will always push us closer to our opponent. And furthermore, again, we don't have a power crush. So our opponent has to be respecting bow dancing completely to do that. Other thing of note there, and I can't remember the situation, and I might as well talk about it since I don't know if I'll be able to reproduce it. So there's situations where you, so if you cause a knockdown, okay, this will kind of be about it. So up forward, and then bow 2 is guaranteed. The problem is sometimes you want to transition into Morengy Miroso, so you'll tap forward. But the problem is the forward is going to take precedence over any button push. So if by some chance you tap forward before hitting bow 2, you're going to not get the right input out. So there is one certain scenario, I can't remember right now, where you knock the opponent down into like an ass stun state and then bow 2 is guaranteed. You can't tap forward, like, because you will die. Because you'll cancel the stance and then you'll be at their mercy and be like, oh shit, what do I do now? So just keep in mind about that. Okay, her final stance information. So we talked about this. Sure, she can flip away normally like a female character, but back 3 plus 4 is a special jump away. By the wall, Tromba, stance, Tromba 4. Option, and then also, as talked about, you can Tromba off of side walls. Just flip the correct direction, and then you can still extend it. Okay, now the wall's my back, and I do back 3 plus 4 instead of up 3 plus 4, so on and so forth. Okay, so it does have reversal break status. So if your opponent tries to power crush or parry or anything like that, the Tromba 4 will go through them. Also, as you see there, post Tromba 4, we can hold forward and go for Morengy Miroso pressure immediately afterwards. As we talked about, under heat mode, you can transition to Tromba anywhere on the field where she creates a wall for her to jump off of by jumping on her bow. And then again, during Tromba, you can actually cancel by holding forward. Now, what's interesting about Tromba, which I think I skipped over, you can actually cancel stance also by doing down back. So back 3 plus 4, down back. So instead of going for Morengy, we can do that. It's kind of funny because you can cancel this open field by retreating and then holding down, but you're costing meter. So it's probably better just to empty back 3 plus 4 rather than do a meter back 3 plus 4. And then cancel the stance. But it makes a sound, so maybe it'll be enough to kind of throw your opponent off. I don't know. Okay, and then finally, also, during Tromba, she can also tap up back to go into Baobab stance as well. So this is like, okay, we want to get close to our opponent. Okay, well, we have this really long advancing tool. We don't want to commit to Tromba 4. Well, we have the Tromba bow dancing instead. Again, we keep dancing to our opponent to get to him. Cancel it, and then like Morengy Miroso 3 afterwards to try to power crush out. Okay, common moves. Not going to talk about these. She has no special actions to the best of my knowledge. For her throws, her generic throw, of course, are homing, break with either 1 or 2. What's important to note is that her 1 throw breaks the floor. Her 2 throw breaks the floor. Her, what was it? Her throws are generic, so she has no special side throws, but at the same time, it's actually not a bad thing, because that means your side throws also are full launchers on ground break. Furthermore, her back throws also ground breaker, which is kind of spicy. Now, by the wall, she can break the wall with up 1 plus 2. The problem is, though, that this doesn't actually cause like a full launcher, it's just a wall break. Also, you only take the 1 bonus point of damage, but if there's a breakable wall behind them, this would break the wall for a full launcher. But you're not going to get a wall splat anyway. But interesting to know. Okay, and then low parry, and that's it. So, yeah, that was Miary Zo. This actually took way longer than I anticipated, so maybe the fact that she's so simple makes it such that things need a little bit more explanation, or maybe it's just I know more because she is so simple and you can kind of figure stuff out. But personally, I think The bow stance will probably be figured out pretty quickly. The fact that she can cancel it is probably going to be your go-to option, kind of similar to Scarecrow stance was Athena. You're going to cancel bow quite often. Other than that, we're going to see a lot of dancing. I think Morengy Miroso is going to be the scarier of the two stances, simply because, again, she's evasive during this transition versus bow stance where she's all in. And you get hit by one errant jab, one errant power crush, heat burst, and it's all over for you in bow stance. So risk versus reward feels very bad. With that being said, the fact that like she has bow 3 safe on block, bow 1-4 safe on block, right? She has quite a few safe options out of stance that are very crucial to like the general frame data and meta play. That it's good to have those for sure. I don't quite know about her damage potential. Like for instance, just to give you context, the general combo I've been kind of just easily doing, and I'll do command history for this one. But very simple, just like filler option, back 3-4-2, hold forward 2, 4-4-3, pop the meter. Oh, so see, here's the thing. We had a strong aerial in this combo, so we can't actually strong aerial again. So yeah, that's also a problem. But we can link 4-4-3 and then Rage Art immediately after. I think this does about 80 damage, which is roughly on target for a down 4-2. Now granted, I guess this is a generic down 4-2, so it could be worse. But I think ultimately, kind of like other Tekken characters, your real goal is probably going to be the wall carry the opponent. And then again, once you have access to the up forward 1 for an unscaled, rescaled damage, I should say. Unscaled is not quite accurate. Will probably be a big part of her game. But for counterplay wise, you're going to want to sidestep to her right, your left. Again, she has basically no tools to answer that sidestep. The big one, of course, is going to be down forward 3-3, which is her very, very good homing attack. But as long as you're going to punish it, you'll be fine. And then furthermore, she has back 2-3 again for homing to lock them down. She only has a few things to track to her weak side, so you're going to be looking for back 2-3 again or down forward 3-3. Under heat mode is where she's going to be very fucking annoying. Options like up forward 3-2 causing wall splat and being plus frames, up 3-2 being plus or safe and also a launcher are going to be really crucial. Things like forward 4-2 again causing wall splat are big, and even furthermore, again still causing wall splat to your direction of choice. It's also really, really good, and is going to be probably the main driving point of like season 3. So I think that's about it. Otherwise, if I made a mistake, please let me know the time code that said mistake. Consider becoming a member. It's how I make my money on the channel. Beyond that, I think that's all I have. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later on.